new to gluten-free or the gluten-free diet and you have no idea where to start, going on 4 years of eating a gluten-free diet after being diagnosed with celiac disease, I am here to help share my knowledge. Now, at first, I was relieved because I finally had an answer to all of my problems, or as it seemed, most of my problems. There definitely comes some fear and some anxiety about, oh my gosh, what does my life look like now? What am I gonna eat? Oh my God, gluten is in everything, like everything. And if you have any of those fears or drawbacks, if you're trying to go gluten-free, if you don't know, or maybe you have just recently been diagnosed, or maybe your child's just been diagnosed and you have to care for them. In today's video, my goal is to help you feel safe and confident in this new lifestyle change. I absolutely love baking, so I was not willing to give that up and I was going to learn. So we're gonna start with what's in my baking pantry first. Let's kick it off with our number one, which I think is one of the most important, is obviously flour if you're going to bake. What's most available to me in my location in Ontario is Bob's Red Mill, and I always get the 1-to-1 gluten-free flour. You can find it on Amazon on sale usually, and then I'll buy like 3 bags of this. It is a white rice, whole grain brown rice, potato starch, sorghum, tapioca flour, and then xanthan gum. So I like this because it has the xanthan in it, and a lot of the time if you just use like straight up white or brown rice, like you need the xanthan gum to act as a binder like gluten. So if you want to keep it simple, get a 1-to-1 that has xanthan gum in it already, because if you overdo that in a recipe, it can cause some gut distress. Okay, we don't want that. We have enough gut distress. We don't need our gluten-free recipes to be causing us more gut distress. Okay. When I talk about mixing flours, what I used to do was get the Bob's Red Mill all-purpose gluten-free flour, which is a bean, like a chickpea-based flour, so it can have a little bit of that beanie flavor. And no xanthan gum. I find it works really well mixed in with the 1-to-1 for like cookies and muffins. Use like 3/4 of the 1-to-1 and then the rest use that all-purpose flour. I would say just try any 1-to-1 flours you can find and just see, substitute it literally 1-for-1 in your recipe. That is the flour. Now for the other types of flours that sometimes I use or sometimes I've been experimenting with, I have a brown rice flour. It is organic. It's just what I could find. It is actually certified on the label, so it's nice. It's a Canadian brand. I just recently tried it with gluten-free naan and they're so good. But it's this mixed with our tapioca flour or tapioca starch. I also have arrowroot starch or flour. These guys are both confirmed and tested gluten-free, so that's really nice. In Canada, we have a pretty strict laws regarding allergies and food testing and stuff like that, so I love that. These two, actually, coming to my next point, make up what I do as an egg replacer. It is a combination of these two starch/flours that I use in my pancakes and sometimes other recipes that call for eggs. Speaking of naan bread, psyllium husk. This is the whole psyllium husk. I picked up from my natural health food store. It said gluten-free on the bag and everything. This is really great at acting like an egg. However, it is very nutritionally dense, a lot of fiber. I only use it for wraps, but it makes it nice and so stretchy. I don't know why I'm going to show you sugar. These are the sugars that I usually use. It says gluten-free right on the bag on the back. Rogers, Lantic, but this actually has a label on it that says vegan and gluten-free. I have my cane sugar. I just use the President's Choice cane sugar. It's organic. Next, okay, so chocolate chips. There are so many good vegan chocolate chips or dairy-free chocolate chips out there for my gluten-free, dairy-free peeps. These are pretty good. They are accidentally dairy-free, accidentally vegan. They say may contain milk. I don't have a problem with that. They also have a blue packaged one that is also accidentally vegan. They have like chips and chunks or whatever it's called. Next up, baking. Okay, my baking powder. I know, I swear, like, I don't know, people say like gluten-free baking powder. I don't know. This is all I use. I've never had a problem. It doesn't say gluten-free anywhere on it. The first ingredient is cornstarch, but I don't know. I don't see any gluten-free baking powder. So anyways, I don't find an issue with this, but this is the one I use. Here is the cornstarch that I use. So I recently noticed that this actually does say gluten-free on it. That's super nice. I was like, oh, okay. So corn ingredients sometimes can be iffy. In anything that's like a corn chip or whatever, usually I try to find chips that have a gluten-free symbol on them. If it's like corn derived, because they can be cross-contaminated. But yeah, so this is the cornstarch I use. Vanilla extract, food coloring. Okay, now this one you want to be concerned about. I didn't realize they can be not gluten-free, surprisingly. So this Watkins one I recently found. They do add a lot of liquid in, so you want to be careful with what point you add them to the recipe. But these actually do say that they are gluten-free on the package. Moving on to something fun, sprinkles. This is a local Toronto brand that I had found a few years ago when I was just looking for vegan sprinkles. I know there's others out there that are gluten-free. Some aren't, so you have to make sure you look, but these do state on them that they're gluten-free. The last on my list of baking ingredients, unsweetened coconut or shredded coconut, flaked coconut. The reason I have these, and the reason you do not see one very popular ingredient that a lot of gluten-free people use, is because I cannot have it. And that is oats or oatmeal or anything oat derived, is because it just seems to not work with my system. I've been working towards substituting the shredded coconut in place of oats, and it seems to be working quite well in some recipes. Moving on to our cooking pantry, I figured I might as well just include this in here as well, because there are some things that you need to be aware of. Okay, let's start off with a popular one, soy sauce. So a lot of people don't realize soy sauce does contain wheat or gluten in it, like 90% of the time. Compliments, so much of my stuff is Compliments. Compliments is a Canadian brand. It's Sobeys and Freshco, and they make a lot of stuff that is gluten-free. You can use tamari as well, which is, I think, naturally gluten-free. You can also get like better quality brands of soy sauce that are gluten-free. So I really like the VH brand. They seem to have gluten-free labels or gluten-free on almost everything, or everything that is gluten-free. So this is one of my favorite ones to use, medium garlic sauce. Let's continue on with our seasonings. Another brand that I really love is Clubhouse, because they seem to be putting gluten-free certified labels on all of their stuff. Some of their stuff doesn't have it, but a lot of their stuff does. Another one I love is the Cajun seasoning. I use this on tofu all the time. Same with this Brazilian style barbecue is another one labeled. This one I love to put on our burgers. I look out for this brand and often buy them. However, again with the Compliments, there is no labeling on here that says made in the same facility or anything like that. So I buy these cheapy ones to refill my bottles. So oregano, Italian, whatever it may be, paprika. However, I do think that I saw one that said like a may contain label on it once. So if they're starting to change their labeling because something has changed in their process, I'm going to stop buying them. So that's something that I would recommend doing too, is every once in a while when you're grocery shopping, every time I go grocery shopping, most of the time I double check the ingredient list to make sure they haven't changed and make sure that they are in fact still safe, and looking out for those labels on everything, because sometimes they change and they don't tell you. Like I see things in celiac groups all the time that's like, oh my gosh, this didn't have the labeling, is it safe? Or they use some of the chips are labeled and some of them aren't. Does that mean they're not safe? Yada yada. Another thing that I like to use are these little veggie cubes, bouillon cubes. They say gluten-free right on the package, so it's really nice. I mean, I guess technically it could be in my pantry if I wasn't using it. Campbell's, and it says gluten-free on the side. I have heard that some broths do not say, like chicken broth, whatever, actually don't say gluten-free on them, and you have to be wary of that as well. On to another thing that might do with broth, pasta. So these are my favorite go-to pastas here in Canada. Catelli is usually what I buy, is what I find on sale the most, is what I find in the store the most. But this Barilla one is like top notch. It's really good. It doesn't break as much, I find, and it also lasts really well. Like if you make a cold pasta the next day, sometimes they're a little bit dry. So I find the Barilla one's a little bit better for that. There's so many you can try. I would just recommend trying the ones that just trying some. Moving on, crackers. This is my top favorite cracker. I have tried every cracker that I can find that is gluten-free and plant-based. And this is one of my favorites, specifically the garden vegetable one. They are marked with the Celiac Canada label. These are a lifesaver for me. Next, this is a random one kind of, but I thought I would include it. Refried beans. A lot of canned stuff can have wheat in it. For some reason, they just add, you know what I mean? They just add that shit and everything. So this brand is expensive, but it is good. Some other brands I just don't trust because honestly, they have so many ingredients and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't trust that. Go with what I know is good. This literally says gluten-free on the label. The ingredients are just organic pinto beans, water, sea salt, sodium bicarbonate, and that's literally it. Next, we have breadcrumbs. This is a staple if you need breadcrumbs. I rarely use these, so these are like super expired. They literally, December 2023, they expired, and I used them this year at some point and totally didn't even think about it. They are marked with the Celiac Association label. This pain riso, whatever, is literally the best I've ever found. This one is what I always recommend to people because it really, truly does look more like a breadcrumb and it acts more like a breadcrumb. It is more absorbent, like if you're deep frying, I've noticed. I'm not lying, this is the best one I've ever found and I've tried a few. Last but not least, two things are these rice-based products. So one, this is Weiwei. They're an instant noodle. So I love to use these just like when we're craving some noodles. 90% rice, 10% water. There is no gluten-free labels. It does not say nothing. Sometimes I'm like, should I be concerned? But it's rice, and I don't think there's anything that is a concern for rice-based products to need to be labeled gluten-free, to my knowledge, like how corn is. Rice-based products and rice things are generally like perfectly fine. I also have rice paper. I love to make little rice paper wraps, cold or hot. These ones also, so Rose brand, these ones also I don't think say gluten-free on them, but the ingredients are tapioca, starch, rice, water, and salt. I eat these up and I don't think I have any problems. That is a conclusion of what is in my pantry, baking and non-baking and cooking pantries. If you are someone that is already gluten-free and you have any suggestions, if you have any additions for the people that might be watching this video, please leave a comment down below what you have, maybe if you're not Canadian, some popular brands that you love, or maybe you are Canadian and I missed something that like everyone should have as a staple in their pantry as a gluten-free person. Let me know if this video was helpful for you. I really wanted to just share, you know, it can be done, it can be easy, it can be simple. It doesn't have to be hard, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. If there's anything else you're wondering, like what I eat, I do make videos of what I ate in a day that could be helpful, or if you're actually curious as to like other items that typically are having gluten in them and what I do to replace them, etc. Let me know in the comments down below and I will do my best to answer your questions or make another video to show you what I do for replacements. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye!